My name is Tim Turzin. I'm the Senior Sales Director here at LKCS, and we're going to be talking about credit prospecting and how to drive up ROI with pre-screen campaigns. For those of you who are not familiar with LKCS, I always like to start on this slide and just tell everybody a little bit about us. LKCS is a full-service marketing company, and we've been in business since 1961. We have worked with financial institutions for the entirety of our operation, and you'll see that we have a lot of other products and services on the screen here. Again, we're going to focus on the credit prospecting service today and touch on a little bit of other things, but just know we have a lot of different products and services that are available, so if there's something else that might interest you, please let me know and we can discuss it at a later time. So what we're going to talk about with credit prospecting today, and some of the most common questions I get that we'll kind of go over as we go through here is, where exactly is the data coming from? And, everybody's really worried about what all the rules regarding the pre-screen data and how do we handle that and how do we make sure that, we're meeting all compliance or regulation and all that good stuff. And then, some people ask, do I get to pick my own criteria? We've seen, people say we only get a list of maybe 10 things we can choose from and we want more than that or potentially. And then, people really are confused with getting data from the bureaus. They see it as really expensive. If you've ever talked to a bureau directly, you'll know that's true. But again, we'll discuss all this and we'll talk about it. And again, we have a solution for everything. Nothing's to worry about. It's all pretty easy. So with credit bureau data, we are actually purchasing the data straight from the credit bureaus. Okay. LKCS is a little bit unique in that we purchase data from all three bureaus. And the reason we like to purchase all our data from all three is because not all of the bureaus have information on everybody. Okay, so it's important to source out that data across multiple locations. We actually see up to a 70% increase in leads when pulling data from all three bureaus as opposed to just one. And the biggest benefit is there's no additional cost. Okay, so we can get data from one bureau or all three for the same price. So you can choose which bureaus you want to work with, whether it be one bureau, two bureaus, or three bureaus. But just remember, even though you may prefer to work with one bureau yourself, that doesn't mean that that consumer, when they're shopping, is going to that bureau. Okay, they can be shopping anywhere and you don't know what bureau that company might be using. So it's really important to use all three to get the best data back as possible. So in the chart below, you'll see that, from 1 to 2 bureaus, you're going to get about a 42% increase in the leads coming back, and then from 1 to 3, about 72%. So that incremental lift that you get is worth every penny. So again, it costs the same, but it definitely benefits you in the long run. So not only are we getting data directly from the credit bureaus, but we're actually outsourcing other data points as well to bring it all into one warehouse so we can really fine tune and target market who we're looking for. So on top of the bureau data, we're actually pulling in demographic data, property information, automotive information, calculating LTV for home values, doing householding, all that good stuff. So when you put it all together, we got about 1,100 data points on 215 million consumers. So it is a ton of data, and we can use it to your advantage. So we can really fine tune and target market exactly who we're looking for in very specific, markets or demographics even. So with using credit data, you will always get to specify your lending guidelines with LKCS. So we are only going to market to the prospects or account holders that meet your specific credit criteria. And that can be a wide variety of anything. When we're doing this, we have to do what they call a firm offer of credit. And we'll talk about those rules in just a second. Everything we do has to be compliant with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And we're going to help you with all that. So we're going to make sure that all of that stuff is taken care of, signed off on, and all that stuff before we even do the campaign. We're going to sign off on it. The bureaus will sign off on everything. You're going to be all set and ready to go. So what that firm offer of credit is that we have to indicate that the recipient is pre-selected, pre-screened, pre-approved, or pre-qualified. We have to list terms and conditions for those eligibility requirements. So we have to let them know that basically, based off X, Y, and Z, this is why you're pre-screened for this offer. We are also going to include information on why credit may not be extended after all. So even though based off X, Y, and Z, you're pre-approved for this, they still have to come in, they still have to fill out, the normal application process. They still go through your screening process. And if something differs, something changes from the time we did the pre-approval to the time you run your actual credit report, you do not have to then, give that loan out. So it's still in your hands. We're giving them a likelihood of being, approved for that product, but they still have to go through all the normal channels. So you still hold all the cards at the end. There is also going to be a minimum dollar amount for which that recipient has been qualified. So we're going to let them know that basically, hey, you're pre-approved for at least a $5,000 auto loan or at least a $50,000 mortgage or whatever it might be. And then obviously all of the opt-out notice and disclosure information from the bureaus, letting them know how to get out of those pre-screen campaigns if they chose to do so. So with credit prospecting, everything is available to us. We can look for, auto loans or mortgages or HELOCs or any type of refinancing or credit card offer. Really everything, is in the system, so we can pick and choose, exactly what we want to look at. We can also pre-screen your existing account holders, or we can go ahead and reach out to those prospects who may live in your areas, where your branches are at, or anything like that, to specifically target, non-account holders. We would then extend pre-approved offers of credit to account holders or non-account holders based on actual credit information. Once again, you are going to set the criteria to identify those people that are going to qualify. We are then going to send out a direct mail offer, an email offer, potentially do a statement-based campaign, or make outbound phone calls to that person. We do also have a system, our DataFlex reporting engine, that you can also use to track and measure the results of those campaigns. So we're going to go over a few potential prospecting campaigns. We just ways to leverage credit data to generate loans. So the next couple slides, they're just examples, okay? So be creative and brainstorm things that make sense for you and adjust these parameters as needed. I've made them all up, okay? So a couple auto refinance potential here. On the left, we're looking at a lease expiration campaign, where potentially we would look for people that have FICO scores of 640 and above. We are excluding any late payments or repossessions, and they have a current lease that is coming due in 1 to 3 months. So knowing that that lease is coming due, we know that this person is going to be in the market for another vehicle. Okay, they're not just going to turn that lease in and walk away. So this is the time to get in front of them, let them know, how you can help them. On the right, looking at a straight loan payoff. Potentially, we're going to look for people with FICO scores of 640 and above, no late payments or repossessions. We're going to look for people that have a balance of greater than $5,000 left, and also a minimum savings on their monthly payment. So what this means is we can actually target people who we know we can save money to. Okay, so if you say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm going to save them at least $20 a month, we can do a calculation prior to even purchasing the data to make sure that we're going to save them at least that $20 a month, or we're just going to ignore that person. So we're not going to pull that data or try to pre-approve them. A couple other campaigns. On the left, a credit card campaign for a balance transfer, looking at FICO scores of 620 and above, a revolving balance of above $10,000. And I'm going to look for people that are using 30 to 70% of their credit limit and no current late payments. So I'm going to target that 30 to 70% credit limit. They're people that are obviously using their card. They're using it enough that they're not so low on the payment that they could just pay it off at any time. And they're not too high where we're getting too risky, right? That they're going to be late payments or we're getting some serious trouble. On the right, we're going to look at conventional mortgages with FICO scores of 680 and above, a mortgage balance of $100,000 or more, no FHA, VA, or reverse mortgages. The age of that loan is, say, 1 to 6 years old, and say up to 95% LTV. We could also do a payment savings example here. So if we wanted to look for people and make sure they're saving, $25 a month on the current mortgage payment, we can do that. So once we figure out the list and figure out who we want to target, again, we're going to get in touch with them with a direct mail campaign. And this is an example of what that might look like. We're going to look and do a personalized letter. It's going out in a number 10 window envelope. Or potentially if you do statements, with us, we could turn that first page of your statement right into, that direct mail piece. So we do this with some of our clients. We save them some postage. We're already sending out the statement or that e-statement. So we're going to turn that first page into that direct mail campaign. And we can also do email. So if you're big on email and you have a lot of people that prefer to be contacted via email, we can definitely go that route as well. So with that said, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about Campaign Suite and really boost up your ROI on these types of campaigns. So going the direct mail route, there's a few things, that are great about direct mail, but there's some things that are hard. All right. And Campaign Suite, it's a newer product from LKCS, and it really kind of transformed how direct mail is used. So the old way of direct mail is outdated, and Campaign Suite's going to operate on 5 new processes instead of just 1. So obviously we send out the direct mail. We now can do mail tracking, so we can actually tell you exactly where that mail piece is. We do online follow-up ads. We're tying that into social media, Facebook, and call tracking. We'll explain this all a little bit here in the next few slides. So basically, we would send out a mail piece. That mail piece is tracked with a barcode technology called IMB, or Intelligent Mail Barcode, that we actually then know exactly where those mail pieces are and when they're set to arrive in the prospect's mailbox. Okay. So we're able to actually tell as soon as they're going to be delivered. So there's actually an online dashboard that you can log into, look at anytime, and we can see exactly when these pieces are going to be delivered. So on the slide now, you can see that the majority of these pieces were delivered on the 23rd. So I can let my staff know, start looking at analytics on the website, whatever it might be, on that date to get ready for people to start coming in and talking about it. we can actually add a unique phone number to a mail piece now. So we can add an 800 number. We can transfer that number wherever you want, whether it be your call center, an office, whatever it might be, and then actually record those calls as soon as they come in. So as soon as somebody calls in, a recording starts. That recording will stay going through transfers, whatever it might be, until somebody hangs up. So you're able to actually listen in, later to improve the quality of the lead reception and sales process. What I always say is if one person calls and asks a question, there's probably 30 or 40 more people that had that same question, they just didn't call. So it's always good, that feedback you do get to improve the process as you go forward. And we also track this online as well. So you're able to see what calls are coming in each day, where they're coming from, what time they're coming from, where they're calling, or what number they're calling from, and the duration of those calls. If it was your dashboard, you would have a little play button so you could actually listen to those recordings. This is really the bread and butter of the system, is the automated follow-up. Okay, so when that direct mail recipient gets that mail piece, 90% of people are going to go online first. They're not going to call. They're not going to visit you in person. They're going to go online and learn more about you. So as soon as they go online, we'd actually save a tracking cookie on their computer. Google and Facebook are going to look for those tracking cookies. So as soon as they start then surfing the web, going everywhere else, these image ads that are matching your campaign design and offer, follow them around. So you're able to stay in touch with these people until they take out the desired action. Okay, so the good visual, I always say, is I'm sure nobody on the call has ever used Amazon. That's a joke. But go ahead and go to Amazon and look up a product. Look up a product that you're interested in. Leave Amazon and start going, just surfing the web, doing whatever else you're going to do. I promise you will start seeing ads pop up for that product you were looking at. They will follow you around for weeks, it seems. But it's the same thing, okay? They're using what they call the Google Display Network to show those ads. That is the same thing we're doing. And basically what it is Google rents small spots on millions of websites. So then Google customers can then display their ads online to keep in touch with people who are interested or have those cookies tracked. So it's an awesome service. You've seen it in use for Amazon. We're doing the same thing with the Campaign Suite product. Works really, really well and really drives up ROI. So what we see is actually people who are targeted with display ads are 70% more likely to convert online, which is perfectly fine. All right. Most of us have brand new shiny websites. We want to make sure that people are using them. So that's our lead generation tool. We want people to get online and be able to do business with us there. And then we're actually seeing 26% of people returning to a site through retargeting, which is a huge number because our stats are showing that about 96% of people that go to your website leave without taking action. So with the retargeting campaign, if we can get 26% to return, I'm not saying all 26% are going to take action the second time, but if even we can get a small percentage of them to take action, your ROI is going to go way up. Again, we have an online dashboard. You can see all of this as well. So you can see exactly how many people are on your follow-up lists, how many times your ads have been displayed or even clicked on each day. And same thing on the social media side, except on the social media side, we can actually break it down by different demographics and different things like that. So it gets a little bit more in depth there. So the benefits with Campaign Suite is you're going to get a higher return on your investment. Keeping the tabs on any mailings that you're doing with the online tracking. We're not going to leave any of the leads behind. We're going to use Google and Facebook and their ad networks to kind of keep people in the know and in the loop until they're ready to take action. With that call tracking system, it's really great to kind of listen in on the calls you do get and improve processes. Again, you're always improving, whether it be for this campaign or the next one you're going to do. Learning the pain points of your account holders and helping them, as we go forward, is awesome. So the costs. Everybody wants to know the costs, and unfortunately, I can't give you too much information today, because it is all pretty custom. But prospecting on the credit side depends on several factors. It really depends on the number of records purchased, the number of demographics selects purchased. The credit bureaus have certain minimum charges, and then there's obviously a setup charge to get everything going with the bureaus. The good news is we do free list counts and estimates anytime you ask. So if it's something you're interested in, all you have to do is shoot me an email or give me a call, or any of the other reps here at LKCS. We'll be able to run that estimate, determine the feasibility of that next campaign. I will say that the people that have looked into this in the past directly through a bureau, maybe, you can expect it to be about a third of the cost. We've seen the bureau cost, $2,500 on up just to start. We are nowhere near that. So go ahead, give us a call, shoot us a message, and we can definitely discuss this a little bit more. On the Campaign Suite side, this is really pennies per piece to any direct mail campaign that you would do. The pricing is fixed based on volume, so budgeting is easy. But basically, we're going to do the mail tracking, do the call tracking, set up all the online follow-up ads, display them for 60 days, all that good stuff. And you're talking, potentially just, a few $100s, not a few $1,000s. Okay. So again, it's all custom depending on the volume, but it is not, crazy expensive. So you'll be very interested to find out what it actually costs. And again, completely free for us to run any estimates and tell you exactly how it works. So with that is what I have for you guys today. If there are any questions, please go ahead and type them into the GoToMeeting toolbar. I will stay on the line for the next few minutes and answer any questions that come in. Otherwise, I definitely appreciate everybody joining, and definitely come back and join us next month to go over the WCAG 2.1 guidelines for the website. Thanks again.